everybody, it's Carol Walsh, and today I am in downtown San Juan Bautista. It's really one of my favorite little towns around the Central Coast, and I wanted to give you guys a little walking tour. So, this is one of the original mission towns, founded in 1787, and the original Main Street really hasn't changed a whole heck of a lot. Um, you can get some great food. We just passed by JJ's Burgers, home of my favorite chili dog. And this is a great town for all kinds of seasons. It really does it up, whether it's Christmas or trick or treating during Halloween. They have a really nice community spirit here. And you're only about 15 minutes from Gilroy, where you can hop on a Caltrain, about half an hour from the coast. So, pretty darn great in terms of location. And the weather is frankly ideal. We're just inland enough that the fog burns off. As you can kind of see the mountains in the distance, that is kind of the fog line. And if you go just a little bit more inland towards places like Gilroy and Morgan Hill or Hollister, it tends to be much hotter. San Juan Bautista still does get to enjoy some of those breezes. So as we turn up the little side street here, I want to point out one of my most favorite little buildings. It is probably the tiniest, cutest jail you've ever seen. Yeah, I know, it's kind of goofy, but I'm a goofy person when it comes to great old buildings. What can I say? But the San Juan Bautista Historic District, which is this whole area is part of, really has not changed a whole lot since the pre-statehood times. As we walk up to the corner here, you really get that view of the original mission, and it's been in operation, has not stopped since 1812, I believe it is. And the original adobes are here. I'll take you inside one of my favorite buildings, which is the old barn. And still see how everything was set up. So there's the old stalls. And then as you go to the right here, you can see they've got a little room set up. This was a stop on the stagecoach. So that would be for the stagecoach driver to be able to sleep in. And over on the right-hand side of that, you've got a whole nother section, which is where they've got a bunch of really cool old wagons and carriages, the original sort of feed board with all the current information on it. And then as we go around the plaza, this is the original Plaza Hotel. And sadly, she is in rough shape. You can see we should not be missing posts on porches. Not great. I can see some of the windows are boarded up there. So that building definitely needs some love. This whole complex is part of the California State Parks. They have done a lot of work on those adobes that we'll walk by in a few minutes. So hopefully they're going to be getting to this grand old lady as well. And just fantastic little buildings hidden around this whole complex. And look at the views. I mean, San Juan Bautista is just pretty idyllic on a lot of levels. You kind of sit up above the plain and, you know, you don't have the sort of hemmed in feeling that you might in some of the canyons. You're much more out in the open. And what's cool about San Juan Bautista is that you absolutely can live somewhere where you can walk. There's not that many units. That's the challenge. And inventory does not come up that often. And head across the street to the other Plaza Hotel and the Adobes. You can kind of get a look back across the plaza. It's really a big, beautiful space. You know, I grew up going here as a kid and seeing festivals and visiting inside the church. We're going to go around the corner and hit one of my little favorite pocket parks because tucked in here is a fabulous original wood cabin. And this was moved from another location, but it was reconstructed. And every once in a while, you'll be lucky and walk up and see that it's unlocked and somebody is here. So you can peek inside because they have it all set up just like it would have been right around statehood, is when a lot of folks started showing up. So think about 1849 and the kind of changes that were going on someplace like this, and look at the size of the beautiful old beams that they are using for the logs there. And you know, somewhere like this, when you look at the backside of buildings, man, you can see the history. Not a lot has changed here. And that's what makes this little town cool, is it kind of never grew into the metropolis that places like San Jose or even Salinas, in terms of population growth. This kind of stayed tucked out here as an agricultural area. And still to this day, that is really what this area is about. Earthbound Farms is headquartered not down the just down the road. They're the biggest producer of organic lettuce in the United States, and it's just a fantastic place to live. So if you're thinking about San Juan Bautista, there are areas that are outside of town that are technically um, called San Juan Bautista and in that area code, but you wouldn't have to live in town. They're country properties. But there's kind of an interesting variety of stuff in town as well. So there is a really cool three-bedroom townhouse that's available on the other side of town. Sometimes some of the really neat older properties will come up for sale. So you can definitely have a variety. There's just not very much inventory. So it tends to go pretty quickly when it does come up. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this walk through San Juan Bautista. If you're thinking about this as a cool place to visit or move or check out, hit me up and we'll see you next time.